Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with an Incursion Raid 2 video guide update for you all. So as you guys can see here, our alliance has been, doing tremendously well, hitting 60% every day as our minimum for Incursion Raid 2.2. I've been able to land consistently in the top 10, top 15, now that I've finally gotten a pretty decent handle. But in today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the Mutant section. We're going to be talking about what works. More specifically though, guys, unlike the past two videos that I made on both the Mystic and Tech section, it is not going to be sunshine and rainbows, guys. You definitely do need some stronger teams for this. There's not really a simple way to say it. Raw power is going to be the answer here, just because of the fact that with these mutant nodes, my goodness, they are definitely troublesome. You need a strong team to get through them, and now I have been able to consistently do it, which is why it took me some time to make this, because I want to make sure that I'm relaying some accurate information for you guys, and that way you do have a game plan and you're using your attacks effectively. Having said that, guys, it probably makes sense then to show you my roster, but first and foremost though, I think I'm probably going to be the only one that made a guide on this using a baby apocalypse. So not gonna lie, this definitely created a wrench in my plans, guys, because if you've been following my Dark Dimension 6 progress, I opted to actually finish DD6 before going for the big boy apocalypse route. Now that has finally translated to an impact on my account, because I do find that in the initial node especially, we're going to be needing big apocalypse. So thankfully we can't emulate that impact, so that's why I'm going to be showing you for my overall strategy, guys. But yeah, in overall, the strategy involved here is really simple. The first node is basically the main issue here. As you can see, it's going to require a sack with baby apocalypse turn. I'll show you what that looks like, because I do have that recorded, as well as sacrificing and making sure that Quicksilver's ultimate is used. Once you do this, we do a second attack here, cleaning up without Magneto. And that rounds out then with nodes 2 in the boss node. You can actually get the job done with the full Deathseed team. So now that you guys have seen how my baby apocalypse is built up, let me show you the rest of the team. And like I said, guys, the stronger Deathseed you have, the better chance you're going to be. I think gear tier 17, to be quite honest, is the bare minimum. I tried initially with my gear tier 16 characters, even with a gear tier 18 Nemesis, because I brought him into Dark Dimension 6, and I was still struggling. You need at least a bare minimum of gear tier 17, and as well having the T2 ISO 5 definitely helps. Like you can see, my Nemesis is built up. I found that for the linchpin of this team, having as strong of an Archangel as you can is definitely key and pivotal. And you'll see in my attempts, having a gear tier 18 Archangel makes a huge difference. Now, if you guys have not finished Dark Dimension 6, do not bring Archangel up to gear tier 18, just because you're going to be needing those mutant materials. I thankfully have lots of materials, so you can definitely get this done with gear tier 17, even 17.5. You're able to upgrade respective pieces that are pivotal. But again, don't upgrade him to gear tier 18 if you haven't finished Dark Dimension 6, because it's going to be heavily impacting your progress and the mutant gear. We have Magneto here, pretty standard, gear tier 17. We're going to be utilizing him again for nodes 2 and the boss node. Dark Beast, gear tier 17, but I did add a few pieces here, as you can see, just to bring him up in terms of tankiness. Like I said, every little edge and advantage you can get for these characters is going to matter, and the same dealio here with Psylocke. And yeah, that rounds out the rest of my group here for Deathseed plus Baby Apocalypse. Let's go right in now to the footage.
So here we go, guys. I opted to use Phoenix, Omega Red, my Emma Frost, and as well as Rogue. Some of my better characters on my team, because I want them to be able to soak up some damage. Again, we want Apocalypse to get a turn on this attempt, so that way he's going to be basically ready for his big boy state where he can use ultimate from turn 1. And as well, we want Quicksilver to use his ultimate, so that way this is not something our next attack has to deal with. And I found by doing this sack attempt, it's really created a lot more consistency, as you can see there, using the attack there. Thankfully too, what I really like about this is that my Phoenix actually came about in Dark Phoenix mode, so you can even do a little bit more damage here. So I actually did opt to use her special, and then right away I hit cancel, because I'm going to back out of this battle, but I wanted to save. And now we are set, guys, for the second attack here.
So here we go, going in with the full Deathseed team in place of Apocalypse without Magneto. And now that we know that Quicksilver's ultimate is wasted and utilized, we're in a really good spot. A lot of their revives are taken care of too, but what I found so far is that when Apocalypse is attacked more in the beginning of this attempt, you know, he's likely going to get a turn, getting that turn meter, as you can see right there. So that is kind of the trigger, right? If he's able to do that, you're in a good position. If you're not able to get that, just reset. Honestly, I'd rather utilize that than have a failed attacker, because you do not want these enemies to get their flow going, especially rejuvenating their energy. Now, this is why it was important to build out with turn 1, because now with Apocalypse having his ultimate, you know, landing the debuff flip, we can actually use this attack now to finish off Quicksilver. As you can see, really what you're going for here is just trying to take down as many enemies as you can, because once that turn meter rewind happens with Archangel's passive, this node goes from being you know, a very problematic and hard node to actually being not too bad, so as long as you're carefully managing the waves, right? And again, guys, I did try with Gear Tier 16 Deathseed, it just did not have luck, but with this strategy so far and a minimum of Gear Tier 17, I think you could definitely get the job done. It's a little different from my past videos where I do min-max the roster as well as I can, but I just found with the mutants, like, this was tuned up for a mix of strategy, but as well, you do need a stronger Deathseed team, at least Gear Tier 17, in my honest opinion, to get through it, especially if you're doing difficulty 2.2 like myself. So now that we're getting up here, we're cleaning up that right side, and you can see here it was pretty straightforward. We didn't really do anything crazy, and once we take down Dormammu and Quicksilver, it was pretty easy from that point on. The one thing to watch out for is cooldowns, right? When you're only having a couple enemies left here, just be mindful of that, because everything translates over, and we will not be using Apocalypse, so it doesn't really matter what you use for him, because it's not going to really matter here. Not too bad, right? And I found that with this strategy, it has eliminated some RNG, which is nice. Now, starting things off with the second node, we are going to be utilizing the services of Magneto now, starting things off with a special there to remove the taunt. And the reason why we bring in Magneto, even though there's a Rhino, guys, is because of the fact that once we're able to land the trauma utilizing Nemesis, it doesn't really matter. The blind's still going to work and stick. So that's why having this full synergy does make sense. The evasions from Rogue definitely help out, and this is why also having a stronger Deathseed team that can be able to survive the attacks. I think Magneto's the only one that's like pretty squishy there. Unfortunately, he can get one shot, but you can see the trauma gets landed, guys, but not an issue. Remember, we have Dark Beast that can actually revive, right? So even if your allies are taken down, we were focusing Rogue just to get her out of the way. If she's able to get her abilities off, it can definitely be pesky. I wasn't keeping track of the charges in that left side with Spider Weaver, so that's something to be mindful of. So now we just need to make sure we're using attack. So look how bad it looks, right? Two of our allies being taken care of. We're trying to get rid of the charges, making mistakes here, but you know, thankfully you'll see here that we're still going to be able to get the job done, even making these boo-boos, because there is a little bit more wiggle room here to make mistakes in the second node. And that's why I wanted to keep this footage and show for you guys that even having two of your allies down, so as long as you have Dark Beast being able to revive and get the trauma and Magneto blind back up, and really it snowballs the moment you can start taking down some of these enemies. So you can see turn meter starting now. We're in a great position to finish off the security. So I'm kind of just focusing on that right side. I'm basically focusing on anybody that's weak, but something also to focus is obviously Kang there. We knew that we can do a really powerful hit on his on him with the Archangel ultimate, so that's what we do, and we're in a great spot. Having those key targets taken care of, like that Rogue and Kang in the beginning, is big, and focusing on any enemies that have low HP, because we're going to be able to turn meter, gain that advantage against the enemies, and that's really how it's going to snowball here, right? You bet we're going to get a chance here actually finally to go back to Dark Beast here with the ultimate. And now it's just about cleaning up, guys. Ability blocking Archangel, those are the two targets really in the beginning here. And again, now resuming attacking these enemies that have low HP, because again, with them getting taken care of, turn meter reduction thanks to Archangel's passive. This is why having a big Archangel really does make sense, guys. And again, being mindful of cooldowns, because we know that we're going to be utilizing this exact same team for the boss node, which by the way is still pretty straightforward. But now we're finally left with Rogue and Spider Weaver, and they're not going to be issues, so as long as you're careful, making sure that you focus on them strategically. And what I love about that was that I made a couple of big boo-boos, and we were still able to get the job done, which means Node 2 is just there's just more room for error, right? So starting things off, guys, in this last final boss node, thankfully it's the first one we're not up against any rhinos, so we are able to actually start things off with Magneto's ultimate to blind everybody, and we're going to be focusing on that bishop on the right side, because remember what I said earlier, the moment we can start getting enemies to drop, it's going to be hugely advantageous for us. We're going to be ability blocking that Captain Sam to the right side, and the beauty and the magic of the Deathseed here, the ultimate to activate the trauma. These buffs are not going anywhere, and as well we have Captain Sam under control, who's easily one of the better enemies that we're up against here. Beta Ray Bill can be an issue for sure, and as well as this Bifrost energy, but so as long as we're being careful here, it's not bad. And yeah, it's kind of ironic because usually it's the boss nodes that are the hardest, but this is actually probably the easiest one out of the previous sections that we've seen here. And now if you're able to land the special with Magneto actually on Beta Ray Bill, it's ideal because it takes away everything, and as well he loses the synergy of using his special and his ultimate against us. I think cloning, using Dark Beast, cloning Iron Fist World War II is a good one because he can provide a stun, you know, just some supportive capabilities on team, right? He's definitely one of the better options in this mix if you've taken down everybody else already, but only 11 out of 15 enemies remaining, guys. And again, once we get going with Deathseed, it becomes very, very quick work, especially with Archangel's damage. And like I said, guys, I highly urge you guys to build all this team to gear tier 17, because I did try it in 16. I think 16 would probably work on the initial incursion rates, but if you're going through at least 2.1 and 2.2, it's gonna be problematic. We have this Morgan Le Fay that does spawn. I try ability blocking her, no chance, just because she has such high resistances. That's okay. This is where our Iron Fist comes into play. Now we can provide at least another stun that we didn't have on the team. And now we are kind of just basically focusing down that center there. I wasn't expecting Team Loki to get quite a significant heal, but that's all right. We know some big abilities AoE from our team is coming pretty soon here, especially from Nemesis. And again, that synergy with the trauma, the debuffs, making everything stick. Even if there's cleansers on the team, it's not going to do anything against that. And again, you just want to get the ball moving again, focusing on as many of these lower HP enemies as you can. Even better if they're grouped up with the AoE attacks that we have, and then it just quickly snowballs, and they're not going to even get a chance to move here, as you can see, right? Magneto should finally get his second chance here for another ultimate blind, and you know it's good game when you have all these debuffs being activated, guys. Finally, we get a big chance here with the special of Archangel. A few of the big enemies drop, and again, the snowballing effect, guys. If you're back, you know, I would say definitely the hardest in the beginning was just setting up and making sure that you can control those key targets, like I mentioned, Captain Sam, Beta Ray Bill, and then at this point, it's basically just making sure you're focusing on all the weaker enemies and being able to catapult and really snowball with the turn meter that Archangel provides. So still a good team overall, guys. But like I said, this was designed obviously for maybe the effectiveness being you know, utilized again by another future Mutant Raid team that's coming to the game, but not yet. This team so far still seems to be able to still get the job done. It's not like what we're seeing in Bio and Skill, where you definitely do have to bring them up, and even then still have a hard time. So this one is more strategy based for sure, but great to see that Deathseed still has holding value to get through these nodes, especially if you don't have a big apocalypse like myself. It can still be done with baby apocalypse. You just need to have preparation and planning, right, guys? So hopefully this helps you guys. Apologies, I know this is ideally not what folks like to see from my videos, where I try to min-max a low power team to get through, but these nodes were just designed for a larger Mutant team, and that's how we were able to get the job done, with the majority of my characters being at gear tier 17, guys. So hope this helps you all, hopefully push you further. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.